welcome to another episode of Regional Italian Cuisine. Of course, I'm Caterina Borsato, and on tonight's program, we're going to go to that very, and I say very trendy spot in southern Italy called Puglia. And of course, just for our viewers at home, Puglia, you know, is bounded by the Adriatic Sea, and although it has the very famous port of Bari, as you go inland towards the west, you'll get lots of beautiful fertile soils and mountains, and it's an amazing place because it's basically a place where you get these really mild winters and long sun-drenched summers, and consequently that, I guess, characterises some of the things that are grown there. Big for olives, it's big for pulses, vegetables of all types, and that's the thing that does characterise the cuisine. And on tonight's show, we are going to be fortunate enough to meet a first-generation born Italian, the beautiful Mollie Collins. Welcome to you, Mollie.
Welcome, Caterina. Thank you.
And, you know, it's really funny because I want to ask you a question, because once I met a guy called Bob, and he became Umberto. Now, you are Mollie. Did you ever become an Emanuela, or were you an Emanuela first?
I was an Emanuela Tortoni first.
And then
Mollie became I am Mollie. Mollie.
You mollied yourself.
No, I didn't molly myself, but for some reasons the Emanuelas became Mollie, and the family started calling me Mollie, and then of course I married an Australian with the surname Collins, Jack, and I became Mollie Collins. But in actual fact, on my birth certificate, it is Emanuela Tortoni.
And I want you to tell me, how did your mum say it, Mollie?
Mollie.
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 That's for Carolina at home.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you a question, because your family, of course, hails from the San Marco area in Puglia, which is a place right in the middle of the mountains, yes?
Correct.
And your family came out in what year?
In 1949.
So one of the early migrants.
And Mum and Dad came out to Australia. They were pregnant with me, and I was a fetus.
Oh.
And I was born in Australia 6 months after they arrived.
Oh, Lord, that's a lovely story. And of course, they went up to New South Wales, didn't they?
Correct, yes.
That's where they...
And then we moved to Melbourne. I think I was about 7 or 8.
Right. And I guess your mother coming out as such a young woman, she would have been taking with her all the traditions of her hometown. That's what she would have known.
Absolutely.
And was she able to, I guess, progress that here in Australia?
Yes, she was. And we had our grandmother as well, my grandparents as well. So the tradition was certainly here in Australia as well. And we've carried it on. Well, I've certainly carried it on. I mean, you know, food is passion and it's love to the Italians.
It is, it is. And you actually reminded me of something very funny earlier on when you were talking about when Italians say certain comments to you.
Oh, yes. Look, if an Italian says to you, "Oh, you're not looking well," it means you've lost weight. But if an Italian says, "Oh, you're looking well," you rush home and go on a diet.
And at what age would these Italians be? More elderly.
60, 70, 80, 90.
Oh, my Lord. Now, of course, the one thing about Puglia, Mollie, is that they have, in fact, I think they are the greatest producers of olive oil in Italy. Like, they put out huge amounts of it, and it is a very high-grade oil. And vegetables are big. Now, having said that, I guess that you, I guess because you've grown up here in Australia, you've probably maybe simplified certain things, but certainly the basic use of those ingredients is still very strong, yes?
Oh, absolutely, yes, that's right.
Probably less salt?
I use no salt, much to my mother's angst.
Do you not salt pasta, water for pasta?
Not for myself.
Oh, my Lord, okay, you're a disgrace.
Not for myself, but certainly if...
They'll all be ringing in saying, she's a fake, oh dear.
I don't. I do use salt for certain dishes.
Yes.
You have to. But when I'm cooking for myself, I use absolutely no salt whatsoever.
And
if I'm cooking for the family, friends, yeah, exactly. But if I am cooking for other people, friends, family, certainly I do use a little salt.
Yes, and you've got a very interesting history yourself, Mollie, because I know that you have dribbled in hospitality in some very iconic places here in Melbourne. So you actually know, I guess, restaurant food, but of course your love and passion is the food of your home.
Yes,
so,
yes. Look, you know, when I was growing up, meat was not our main dish.
No.
It was always the side dish.
Yes.
We were brought up with legumes or pulses, as they're known, as well, and pasta, of course. Hence, from a very small age, I didn't eat meat, didn't like meat, and I've been a vegetarian for most of my life.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and as you say, things like chickpeas or lentils, they become the heart of the meal.
Yes.
And you might supplement with some sautéed greens or whatever.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, so healthy way of living. Well, we're going to go into the kitchen, and the wonderful Mollie is going to take us through some of those beautiful recipes that I guess she's learnt from her mother, but also modified to a degree. Allora Mollie, tell our viewers what our first dish is for tonight.
It's baked eggplant.
Melanzane for the Italians at home. Now that is so synonymous with Italian cooking, and I have to tell you that I've had this dish before, and I really mean, without any offence, it's probably the best eggplant I've ever tasted.
Oh, thank you,
And
Caterina.
I guess it's got to do with the quality of the olive oil that you use and the method, yes?
The method, yes, absolutely. It's a quick dish. It's good for antipasto, or you can have it in a panini, or it keeps in the fridge for about 2 weeks because of the oil.
Right, so a snack at any time.
Any time.
All right, let's go into the kitchen and see how Mollie does this wonderful dish.
Now, this is a baked eggplant dish that I'm about to make. And first of all, you take off the head, take it off and chop it a little bit, like so. And then you slice it up like medium size, not too thin, not too thick. Now the secret with this dish, there's two things that you need to remember that it's very important. One is to cook the eggplant for quite a while, an hour and a half. I know eggplants don't take long to cook. However, this dish, the flavour, the longer you cook it, the tastier it is. Put oil at the base of your dish because eggplants take up a lot of oil and they're not very nice if they're dry. Rub it around like this and then you layer them. Chop up some garlic roughly, and I do it, I'm not that particular about it. I tend to do it a little bit like I've been taught, like how my mother does it, how my grandmother used to do it. They roughly chop it up and just, it doesn't really matter where it goes. Chopped up parsley, or you can put the tomato first, it doesn't really matter. Then we put some salt, and I'm using grated pecorino cheese. Eggplant needs a lot of oil. This is very important because if the eggplant's dry, it won't be the same. So you don't saturate the eggplant, you do cover it. So you cook it for an hour with the alfoil on. After an hour you take the alfoil off and you let it cook for another half an hour, and you will see that it's ready. It's brown and quite, you can tell it's cooked.
Now, wasn't that fantastic, Mollie? These hands of experience, you've made it look so easy. And it's a great little snack food. And when we come back, Mollie's going to give us her take on
Lentil soup.
Zuppa di lenticchie. And remember, she's a vegetarian, so she's very particular. But the quality of the lentils that you use, yes?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.